Copyright disclaimer. Citation of articles and authors in this report does not imply ownership. Works and images presented here fall under Fair Use Section 107 and are used for commentary on globally significant newsworthy events. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Community Guidelines Disclaimer. The points of view and purpose of this video is not to bully or harass anyone, but rather share that opinion and thoughts with other like-minded individuals curious about the subject. 5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
Hello, UnitedComicsUniverse family members,
Ninja,
fans,
heroes,
and villains.
Today's date is 4/21/21, so it's fresh.
Before we get into this video we made specifically for you, please take the time to subscribe, like, smash that notification bell so you can get notified when we post up more of our upcoming content we made just for you.
This information is coming at you from
UnitedComicsUniverse.
A universe for fans.
From pages to pictures, we are comics.
by yours truly, UnitedComics.
And your boy Fenrir Moon. Today we're giving you the top 6 UnitedComicsUniverse picks of who could possibly be the Powerbroker.
But wait. Borker? Don't you mean broker?
Well, no, that ain't what Fenrir Moon means. He mean Borker, just like he said. Because you know why? Because he's a student of McDougie. He said it right, man, Jetta. Look, let me tell you something here. Don't you go harassing my student. It's Barker. It's not well, how you say that word? You trying to say that was incorrect?
McDougie. It's broker. It's not Borker.
No, it's Barker. It's not. Hey, I went to the English school of academy, the McDougie, learn how to speak, spell, and all that. So,
is it as accurate as your jab punch?
let me tell you something, girl. Let me tell you something, Jetta. My jab punch is the most accurate fighting technique that you ever come across.
You're right. If I dodge, I might get hit by it.
Hey, don't you supposed to be doing a script? Hey.
Yeah, get out of here. We're supposed to be. Get out.
I'm not leaving.
Hey.
And hey, give me my $59.99 for trying to. I ain't try. I help my student.
McDougie, you ain't helping anybody. Get out of here. We trying to finish the script.
No, you.
That. Don't make me take the
You
shuriken. Don't make me get the shuriken.
Okay, Ninja Kage. Okay, I see you on money. You better have my $59.99.
Oh, I got you 59.
Doggies. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, first up would be Sharon Carter, aka Agent 13. For those who
Stop stealing my lines, Fenrir.
Hey.
Now, for those that don't know anything about Sharon Carter, here's a brief history, like super brief. She is the daughter of 2 wealthy Virginians, Harrison and Amanda Carter, and she is the grandniece of the legendary Peggy Carter.
What? Peggy Carter was a heroic warrior during World War II who had shared many adventures with and was the love interest of Captain America before he was trapped in that cold ice
Capsicle.
right before. Okay, all right, she messed my whole floor up. Okay, all right. Peggy Carter is also one of the founding members of SHIELD.
But you know, she certainly doesn't fight like a rich girl the way she was beating the crap out of those guys in the container yard. Are you sure she's not related to Batman?
Good one, Ninjetta, because the way she was breaking them down at the container yard, Sam and Bucky better watch out if they ever get on her bad side.
Right? And Sharon became an enemy of the state when she gave Steve and Sam back the shield and wings in Civil War.
Now, Sam told Bucky that Steven himself was on the run for 2 years.
So that would mean that Sharon Carter was also on the run for 2 years.
We're guessing Sharon Carter went to madripoor when she went on her run.
And that she was at Madripoor the whole time before she was murdered by Thanos with the snap.
That would explains why she had that nice operation when she returned back from the blip.
Also, we're guessing that she's not actually the Powerbroker at this time.
Yeah, she might be working for Thunderbolt Ross because in the comics, she worked for Thunderbolt Ross in the CIA.
And this is Madripoor we're talking about. This is like the hotbed of criminal activity. So it is
Dirty.
entirely possible that the CIA has people in Madripoor to keep an eye on things, and you know they're always trying to find the super soldier serum, so yeah, that would be a thing too.
Most definitely. Also, in the comic, Thunderbolt Ross once visited Harbor Bar in Lowtown to look for recruits for his incarnation of the Thunderbolts.
So she could be working undercover for Thunderbolt Ross because he wants that super soldier serum, and he heard the Powerbroker had it while he was at the bar.
Now, if this comic information is written into the story with some changes, then this would explain why Sharon was in Lowtown when she actually lived in Hightown and selling stolen goods to the rich and powerful.
Unless she's trying to get information that would lead to Dr. Nagel.
That would explain why she was in the Brass Monkey Saloon.
Now I see why she reacted like that when Zemo shot and killed Dr. Nagel. Because she finally had the guy she was tracking all this time, and then Zemo shot him.
You're right. We're also guessing when Sharon got into her car, she was going back to Hightown, where Thunderbolt Ross might be living.
Right, because, you know, he's not going to live in Lowtown, and that's exactly what I mean. Thunderbolt Ross could actually be the Powerbroker because he is so obsessed with getting his hands on the super soldier serum. Next up, we have Baron Strucker.
Baron Strucker could possibly be the Powerbroker. I know you guys are saying Baron Strucker is dead. Ultron killed him in his prison cell. That's not necessarily true because he just stood up when he heard the cell door opening and had a look of fright on his face when he saw who was standing there. That doesn't mean that he was killed.
Also, they dropped that Easter egg in WandaVision with the Strucker watch commercial.
I don't think Marvel would just drop that big Easter egg on us for nothing.
Yeah, because if Baron Strucker could get his hands on some super soldier serum, he could create an army of super soldiers for Hydra.
That would mean that he was able to do something that his leader Red Skull could not do.
And he did create the most powerful Avenger in the MCU, Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch.
Madripoor is a low down, dirty place, so you know Hydra is running and walking all throughout that place.
Yep. Now, next up we have the Mandarin. There wasn't a whole lot of information on what his connection could possibly be to Madripoor, but we feel like we found something really compelling from the comics that could actually make it so he is the Powerbroker.
The Mandarin could possibly be the Powerbroker since he is the leader of the Triad that have an operation called Jade Dragon Triad. Fact in Lowtown, Madripoor.
Which I'm sure is probably a front for something. So we know the Mandarin would love to get his hands on super soldier serum so he can create a super fighter that he would then send to the tournament.
Next up, we have Thunderbolt Ross.
Now, we touched on this a little bit when we were talking about Sharon Carter, so here's the breakdown. General Thaddeus Ross had started Project Rebirth once again in order to create super soldiers for the US.
Thunderbolt Ross had been using captured terrorists to test the serum on.
Yup, and I bet there's a lot of terrorists in Madripoor's wharf side, which is one of the worst spots in Lowtown.
Right? But eventually picture of the aftermath and what happened to the terrorists was leaked and the project was officially terminated.
But of course that didn't stop Ross. He continued his work and recruited world-renowned biochemist, nuclear physicist, and gamma radiation expert Bruce Banner.
Bruce decided to swap out the vital radiation used in Captain America procedure with gamma radiation.
He then tested the serum on himself. However, the combination of the super soldier serum and the gamma radiation had the unwanted side effects which resulted in him transforming into the Incredible Hulk.
The other experimental versions of the serum also had side effects.
Yeah, Red Skull's face was burned off and Emil Blonsky turned into a creature called Abomination.
Right, but eventually picture of the aftermath and what happened to the terrorists was leaked and the project was officially terminated. The version Steve Rogers got has the good side effects of making him bigger, but he still look human.
Now, the serum that the Flag Smasher stole was created by Dr. Nagel and is considered to be the perfect super soldier serum because it doesn't change your physical looks, but it still gives you all the benefits Cap got, like strength, durability, and regeneration.
Thunderbolt Ross, aka the US government, would love to get their hands on that serum so they can use it to fight against enhanced people.
And we think Thunderbolt is running a secret US government operation in Madripoor to get the serum, and that's why he could be the power broker. And next up is Red Skull.
Okay, so Red Skull was Hitler top guy and was once an ally with Zemo's father. And we know that Zemo has connects in Madripoor.
Also, Red Skull was obsessed with getting the super soldier serum from Erskine after he escaped Germany and fled to the US.
So he could be hiding in Madripoor after he was released from Volmir, and he would be acting as the power broker to get more super soldier serum.
Now, Red Skull has been known to have personal islands, and Madripoor is an island, so there's a little match right there.
True. And in the comics, at one point, he was recruited by Loki, who would disguise as the power broker, into a group of criminal masterminds.
They could use that as a backstory for him to expose Loki and then become the real power broker.
Also, Red Skull has a new body at one point and became a powerful businessman in America called Mr. Smith.
Now, he used his power to get Captain America into a forced retirement. Now, this is the Steve Rogers Captain America. The CSA then made John Walker the new Captain America, and Mr. Smith, aka Red Skull, acted as a puppeteer for many of the events that Walker had to go through.
Since he hated Captain America so much, it would make sense for him to be manipulating things behind the scenes.
And that is what he's known for, being extremely manipulative and coming up with elaborate schemes.
He is also skilled in espionage strategy and has access to a vast amount of resources and connections. So I could definitely see him being the power broker.
And finally, we have Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister is obsessed with evolution and human mutation.
His theory is that humanity is steadily evolving with various mutations as the possible outcome.
In 1859, after his wife died in childbirth, he accepted Apocalypse's offer to give him mutant powers.
Now, he always works in the shadows and is rarely seen in any confrontation.
He has shown the ability to pretend to be different people in order to collect genetic samples for his research.
At one point, he used the genetic material of Courier, who was stuck in the past with Gambit in the early 1900s at the time, to grant himself shape-shifting powers.
He had lived in different locations around the world in order to study mutation and conduct experiments.
He moved to the US and became an obstetrician to acquire genetic samples from pregnant women, and he moved to Canada to look for test subjects.
While in Canada, he captured a feral Logan in the Canadian woods and took him to his lab to study.
Logan's memories were wiped while he was in captivity in Sinister's lab, which he later escaped from.
He could have moved to Madripoor to observe Logan while he was living there as Patch and become the power broker so he could get more genetic samples.
Now here is a real twist. A woman showed up later calling herself Miss Sinister. She claimed to be Mr. Sinister's daughter and had the same powers and displayed the same manipulative and deceiving tactics. So, the power broker could even be Miss Sinister.
I think Apocalypse should get an honorable mention.
I agree. He gives people powers like Sinister and all of the incarnations of his horsemen.
He also wants to test the strong and weed out the weak.
Yup, and since he normally does not personally engage in physical confrontations, and instead prefers to manipulate others to fight on his behalf in order for them to prove their loyalty or strength, it would make some sense for him to be hiding out as the power broker.
He preferred to play the role of the grand manipulator, and being in this position would allow him to observe people, to see who is strong and who is weak, and pull strings to manipulate events.
And don't forget, everyone's favorite villain to theorize about,
it's Mephisto!
This is why we think Mephisto should get an honorable mention at least. When Blackheart tried to rule Hell by bringing it to Earth, Mephisto gave the heroes who were fighting his son, Red Hulk, X-23, and Ghost Rider another chance to live after they were killed by Blackheart's forces.
Later, the Thunderbolts accidentally teleport themselves to Hell.
Mephisto was defeated and replaced by Strong Guy as the leader of Hell.
Mephisto took the opportunity to give the Thunderbolt a way out if they defeat Strong Guy.
After making the deal with Mephisto, Red Hulk managed to convince Guido to abandon the position of Hell Lord and try to regain his lost soul, thus allowing Mephisto to regain the throne and let the Thunderbolts return to Earth. Now, we think once the Thunderbolts returned to Earth, Mephisto manipulated them from behind the scenes, since he is a grand manipulator, and took up the role of the Powerbroker in Madripoor in order to do this. So, what do you think about our 6 picks of who could be the Powerbroker?
Use those comment words down below and let us know.
Thank you for watching your United Comics Universe here on YouTube or Rumble, and we will catch you another time.
Please share this video.
We are proud to serve you, and thank you superheroes and villains for coming out.
And lastly, you know what we're about to say. You guessed it.
We are comics.